Hi, my name's Kristofer Sanders. I'm the pastor and founder of Nea Ekklesia. Welcome to our channel, where we're going to be talking about the God of the Bible. It's an honor today to be able to kick off the new channel for Nea Ekklesia. So there's a lot of information that we want to be able to convey and some context that we want to be able to give the viewer so that they'll understand what's going on. So what is Nea Ekklesia? Nea Ekklesia is a Greek word. It's actually two Greek words, ne meaning new, and ekklesia, which was used for an official or civic assembly, was called out in an official capacity. And that was a word that was in use by the Greek in the ancient world, and particularly about 300 years before Christ. And this word was used by Jewish monks who had translated the Old Testament into Greek so that the scriptures could be read by the Jewish diaspora. And so for the Jewish monk, Ekklesia meant the God who brings you out of the house of bondage. So this was the assembly of God's people. So this is the God that calls you out. It's a very suitable name for what we might describe in English as the assembly of God. And of course, to the Christians, when the gospel was being preached, this was the God who calls you out of your bondage to sin. And so that's how we know God, the God of the Bible. He's just and He's holy. So that's what Nea Ekklesia means. So Nea Ekklesia, Ekklesia is where the English word church comes from. There's some history behind that we won't get into. But Nea Ekklesia is quite literally, it could be translated as the new ones called out of the world by God, or new church, really. And so why Nea Ekklesia? So this is interesting because if you just come out and tell someone, hey, I'm planning a church, the thought of cult leader comes to mind. So it's important to kind of give some context to what's happening, what I'm doing. I've been a Christian for a while. I've had faith in God for a while. It's been growing, and God has blessed me, blessed my family greatly. But several years ago, my family found ourselves in a dark place, and it was like nothing I'd ever faced before in my life. And God delivered me from that, and this was really big for me. And there comes a time where God is just so great that you have to honor Him. And you have to honor Him to the best of your ability. And so that's what this is about. It's about honoring the God of the Bible. I believe He's worthy. And so Nea Ekklesia is more than just a church that I'm involved and committed myself to planting here on the Space Coast. Nea Ekklesia is an effort to honor the God of the Bible. So the best way that I could describe that to you is if you, when leaders and people are leaders by their nature, and it's their action that makes them a leader. When they see a need, they fill it. But for me, it's a bit more than just that. It's about more than just fulfilling a need that you see. It's a calling. So I'm a professional. I tell men that I preach to that I'm a software engineer by day and an evangelist of Jesus by night. But there's a calling in my life. There's a love for God and a passion, and it's something that I can't escape. This is something that I absolutely have to do. And it's not something I even want to escape. I just love God. And so I'm setting myself to something that, I guess the closest I could describe to you is it's an urge. It's a very strong drawing. So that's why. Let's see. So when is, or let's talk more about what is Nea Ekklesia. So Nea Ekklesia is about it's about creating a space for people who genuinely hunger and thirst to know God, and to be in a community, where that's what it's all about. And so Nea Ekklesia is about the God of the Bible, who is revealing himself to men and who is drawing men to himself, and who is creating an assembly of people that he is calling out of the world by God. And this is what these people have in common. It's what they have in fellowship. And so it's quite literally God's people. So that's a pretty awesome thing. So when is Nea Ekklesia? So this is a good question. So Nea Ekklesia will be launching within the next 6 months, God willing. There's an unbelievable amount of work and investment that goes into the work that we're setting ourselves to. And I say we because we're not sitting idle. I'm not idle. I'm been interviewing people that I know that have street credit with me. I know that they love God and that they're people of integrity. And I've been praying that God would bring the right people alongside me to serve Him. And so that's something that's going on right now. The intention is that when we launch Nea Ekklesia, that we're going to launch as a full-fledged ministry. We're going to launch with a ministry of music. And this one's really huge because this is developing. I can't publicly announce this until it actually happens. But it's going to be really big. It's going to be really big for me. Really big for me. But also, if God makes this happen, if God brings this about, it's going to be really big for Nea Ekklesia because we're going to have possibly one of the world's greatest musicians and lovers of Christ among us to help us and to teach us music and how to worship God. And so we're going to be doing that out of the people that God is drawing. And out of God's people, we're going to be learning together, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Provided that God does what I believe is developing, what I believe is going to happen, and it would be a special kindness from God. But we'll wait and see, and I know that God will do something wonderful there, no matter what ends up happening. So then also the men's ministry. I'm interviewing men of God that are passionate about the Lord, passionate about God's work, that have been at work in our community, and I believe will be able to allow us to launch with a strong men's ministry and to be able to fill that role and that capacity, for the church. And then also the women's ministry is very important, that God's people live according to God's principles. And God's principles are different than the world. They've got a lot of ideas about, why our principles aren't acceptable, that are wrong. We can't be guided by what people think, and their thoughts. We have to be guided by God, and we have to be guided by righteousness. And so, God, it's absolutely necessary and critical to have a strong women's ministry in place with strong women leadership, place for women to go to and to be able to be ministered to and to have their needs ministered to. Obviously the pastor loves everybody in the congregation, but God hasn't really called me to be the head of anybody's wife other than my own. And and I love all people, and in this day and age of all ages, it's important that we do things with wisdom, so that the right things are happening. So we're going to have a great women's ministry. And then finally, it's very important that we have a children's ministry in place, something for our children that's healthy and that's edifying and it's good for them, that's growing and nurturing their needs, and a place that we can feel our children are safe and receiving what they need to, while we're coming together, for worship. So we want that to be in place. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to get in place. before we actually launch the church or the actual public services. But we're not standing still, even though it may feel that way and look that way at times. So we'll be announcing, when the launch is actually going to happen. So how can you stay informed? How can you be aware of what's going on? So one of the ways that you can do that is through our social media. We do use Facebook. We have a Facebook presence, and that's www.facebook.com/Nea Ekklesia. So it's just all together one word, Nea Ekklesia. I also have a personal Facebook presence that's public that is the same. It's www.facebook.com/Nea Ekklesia.founder. So it's the same as the other one. It's only got a .founder at the end. And you can like those and follow those pages, and you'll be able to see what's going on and receive updates in relation to Nea Ekklesia. And then finally, we've got the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is just another platform and a tool, to be able to deliver content, audio and video content. And then you can like and subscribe to that channel. Make sure that you hit the notification icon, the bell, or whatever it's going to be in the future, down in the corner, so that you can actually get notifications of what's going on if you're interested. Finally, the last thing that I wanted to point you to is to our website. We do have a website presence. There's content on there that's unique. It's www.Nea Ekklesia. It's the two words put together, one word, neaekklesia.com. So www.neaekklesia.com. And there, this is developing over time, but right now my public testimony is there. You can learn more about me. You can learn more about what God's been doing in my life and why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm honoring God. You can get more details about that if you're interested. And then also there's information on there about Nea Ekklesia, about God's people, about God's purpose for us that you can begin to learn about. And of course, there's going to be teachings and publications and things on there that begin to unfold over time that I believe will be of interest to you and be a blessing to you. So again, really excited and really stoked about what's going on. It's a dream and aspiration of my life, to just love God and be able to honor Him in the way that I'm about to honor Him. And, I'm just so thankful for that opportunity and for what God's doing and the people that God's bringing into my life, co-laborers in Christ. And so we're very excited about planning this church. One thing I forgot to mention, of course, this is very important, where it's planted. We're planting Nea Ekklesia on the Space Coast in the Melbourne area. So that's very important. So this is where you can look to see us in the community. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless you. Bye-bye.